we've reached a conclusion on the podcast.
Illegal!
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to episode 7 of the Illegal Podcast. Let's really quick have a moment of silence for episode 6. And that's enough. So, episode 7, how are you guys doing? How you feeling?
It's better than episode 6.
Yeah.
Damn straight. Yeah. And again, guys, we apologize about that, but
fuck you.
You didn't want any of that shit.
No.
You didn't.
Yeah,
you,
it got
You don't want any of this shit.
you weren't ready for it.
The AI escaped.
Yeah.
Shredded the audio.
Bad.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
it happens.
So we made sure it's not gonna happen this week. I'm feeling pretty good this week. Had a pretty solid week.
Yeah,
Been playing a lot of new releases that's come out here. So
For sure.
How about you, Ryan?
about the same. Feeling pretty good about the podcast. Been doing some editing for getting us some clips up, set up our Patreon a little bit better, and that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good. Ray?
My week's actually been really cool. It's been got a lot of interesting things happen, a few different meetings lined up that I didn't expect to happen, so that's really cool. But right before I came over here, I was doing my laundry, and
Me too.
started out just like any other, casual Sunday afternoon. And
Then the aliens came.
well, it was kind of like that. So I started the laundry, and everything was cool, put everything in the dryer, and that's when shit started to get strange.
How strange.
The dryer went off, and I went back.
How strange was it?
Right? A fucking pen, Pilot G2, had exploded, committed suicide kamikaze style in the dryer.
Oh, that's
Pilot
exciting.
G2.
Yeah, gel pen.
Sponsored by Pilot.
It was bad. Oh, Pilot, how I love your pens, but I hate what they do to the dryer. So I ruined a lot of my clothes right before I came over.
Probably a little bit of the dryer too, right?
The
You
dryer,
can't really
it
use
looks-
that right away.
Well, if you know, it's actually kind of cool. I need to actually take a picture of it, maybe with like a camera, like do a panoramic all the way around or something.
Camera.
No, like I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like if it's gonna be like a 360
camera.
or do a panoramic view one, but like it's pretty painted up in there. It's pretty sick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looks
But
like
other than that,
You can
it's
give
been,
me that photo by the time this goes up. Maybe I'll throw it in there.
Looks like a Pollock painting.
Don't do this shit.
You don't want any of this shit.
Oh, it was so fucking terrible. I'll be honest with you guys. It's been a long time since I felt the emotion of rage, but I felt that this afternoon, and I had to.
Who are you mad at?
I was pissed at myself because
Okay.
I had double checked to make sure that wasn't going to happen, and then it occurred, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
You should have checked one more time.
I should have triple checked. That was always triple check before you start the dryer.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
That's
I don't even check once. Just throw shit in there.
Damn, living
Grab life
on
by the balls.
edge.
just paint cans.
My week was alright. Thanks for asking.
I'll assume your week was fine.
Yeah, it was good.
Anything interesting happen over there?
I found a new hunting spot yesterday. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Played with a buddy on a new video game and found a hunting spot. Nothing like I mean,
I thought we were
that
talking
requires being active. And
Real hunting spot. I was like, oh shit.
Hunting spot like the YouTube share did.
Oh god. That's terrible.
no, I got nothing,
Well-
man. It was good.
We'll jump right into the action here. We're gonna start it off with Ray over here. He's got a little ray of sunshine. Ray's corner.
Get ready for the ray of sunshine. No, this week I just want to talk about some Far Cry 5. I wasn't gonna buy it, and then I bought it, and now since I bought it, I can't put that fucker down, and it's just I've had a blast, and so I just kind of wanted to have a little bit of an open discussion with you guys and what you thought about it. I'm pretty sure you all own this game, right? Everybody's got it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were the ones convincing you to get it there.
Last podcast.
Bought it before I left this table.
It's like, god damn it.
Oh, it was terrible, but it's so good.
How far along are we all? How long are you in it? How far?
Well, I've done a lot of
killed John Seed.
Yeah,
he killed John Seed.
got
I killed
destroyed
John Seed.
last night.
Where are you at?
Not far at all.
Not far at all.
No.
Main story probably hour in.
Okay.
Have you killed John Seed?
Just killed John Seed.
Well, all right.
moving
So
into Fate's
what did you guys
territory.
do with the body? I know you were with me when I killed John
Spoiler.
Seed, but what did you guys do with the
kill him.
body after he was dead?
Oh,
If this is a big spoiler, I'm gonna hate you.
No, this is just a fun little thing.
Yeah,
That,
John
I
Seed's.
didn't do
after he's
anything
dead,
with
the
it.
body is there.
Yeah.
Which
I just,
that's what happened when things die.
I caught him with a headshot. Like it was kind of interesting the way he jumped out of his plane. I'm assuming this is the same way it had. Like his plane
Yeah.
starts to go down, he jumps out, and he almost landed like on the plane that was on fire, but it like glitched out, and he was going in front of it, and I landed right behind it, and I was like, God damn it, because he's like, you couldn't hit him like while he was in the air. I was trying, and as soon as he landed, he was on the other side of the plane. And I was like, what the shit? And I just clipped him with a headshot. And he went down, and then he was talking and shit. I'm like, I just clipped this guy with a headshot, but I didn't do anything with his body. Sounds like you guys had quite a war with it.
Oh, I like didn't have any pistol ammo left when I was done.
No,
Yeah,
It's pumped in full lead.
I didn't believe that he was dead. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
you thought he was gonna come back.
Yeah.
Hated him. Well, where I happened to kill him at, there was a bridge right there afterwards, and so after we pumped a couple of bullets in him, because he's John the Baptist, I decided to throw him off the bridge into the river and watch his body float downstream. It was
Just like John the Baptist.
it was
That good old Bible story.
it was so gratifying. I hate that dude, man. He was such a douche.
Well, first I took off all of his clothes, and then I wore his skin. No, I haven't got that far yet, but if I can do that, I will do that.
That's what I'll do. Skin him.
At least we know.
How do you guys feel about the game so far in general? You think it's a good one? Where would you give it on a scale of like 0 to 10, 0 being absolute shit, and 10 being like I would pay for it again?
I would have to give it gameplay. I'd have to give it a 9,
Yeah.
especially co-op. It's where it shines.
Give me 2 more players though.
That's one of my main complaints is
Yep.
we got 2, let's get 4, and also we need a further distance before it starts being like you're too far away from each other.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to. I mean, I get the idea of that. They don't want you like rolling through and doing all this stuff. They want you to be together doing it at the same time. You don't want you over here completing this and him over here completing that.
But it's somewhat too small now. It should be just a little bit bigger,
little
not
bit
not
broader.
much, but a little bit bigger, and give you a bigger window to get back in.
And
Especially when you're driving vehicles and stuff.
well,
Yeah.
planes in particular. So I'll mention this is like in the trailer they show a lot of like a guy in a car and a guy in a plane and they're flying together, or they're riding together, or any scenario they show all these vehicles together, and like realistically it's like you don't really get to do that. I mean, you could if the airplane was sitting there flying circles around the vehicle as it was driving, but it was almost like felt like a little bit of false advertising, because after watching the trailer afterwards I'm just like, yeah, I mean you could technically do that, but it'd be very difficult to fly
Have
that.
fun doing that.
Yeah, like you'd have to, it'd be kind of silly.
Be so focused on just doing it, you wouldn't be playing the game.
Right. Audio, like 10. The audio is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's pretty good. There's definitely some glitches, which are kind of few and far between. Nothing really game breaking. My biggest complaint about this game is the loot button being X, as well as switching weapons. And when you go to loot someone,
Swapping your
you
weapon
swap
out.
your weapon, and sometimes you just don't realize it
Fuck,
happened.
dude.
And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, where the fuck is my sniper rifle? And you have some like silly gun in your fucking slot, and you're just like, what the fuck is
My
that?
least favorite thing is when you accidentally fucking swap a weapon out, like on the ground, and then a loading screen hits. And you're
Yeah.
like, God damn it, are you
Just
fucking
clear an
serious?
outpost, and like
Yeah.
right as soon as you kill that last person, then game over. You don't have a chance. Like you don't
It's
get to
gone.
loot those bodies. Those bodies are all gone.
Yeah, it's just like that was
Everything despawns.
phenomenal.
Gone forever.
So that's pretty much small complaints, but high praise across the board for me.
For sure.
What are you thinking over there?
I got a pretty much agreement on all of those points there. I think my biggest thing, throwing your weapons, you're trying to loot them. The multiplayer gameplay up to 4 people would be great, and I wish and this may change with the online, what do they call it, the arcade mode. that could be a little bit smoother. It seems as if they just weren't ready for the amount of people that were going to play it, and it just seems like really glitchy still compared to your average.
There's some issues there for
multiplayer
sure.
Online game.
Well, I think that a very easy way that they would have been able to fix that is just by creating 10 levels to start us out with. Because, like, right now, I mean, it's all, from what I can understand, user-created content as far as the levels go.
Now, there's the one that's got the Far Cry A on it. There's always one Far Cry created map to choose from. It's always the fourth one.
Okay.
So it's always 3 user created maps, a Far Cry official map, and then the next one is always play the last map you played. But there does need to be a better way to filter out the garbage. There's a lot of fucking one star, a lot of 1-star bullshit out there, and some of that stuff just doesn't need to be in there.
No.
It just doesn't. Like, it's really bad. Like, there's just such a...
It should have like a 1-week test, and if it doesn't reach like a certain star rating by the end of the week, that it just gets booted.
But then it could be really good, and you just get an asshole like me. That was actually really fun.
And,
1 star.
Like, yeah, people that like if you it might be a really good map, but you just get roasted and you lose by 48 points.
Well,
and
then
it's just
do
like,
it longer than a
like,
week, maybe 2 weeks. Or,
Yeah, make it a month.
But, you know,
make it a
they'll
month,
figure
and
it
I'm
out.
down for that. I mean,
I don't know, but then if you gotta play a
depends.
shit map for a month, like...
yeah.
Well,
Well, it
that's a long
depends on
time
how
to
many
play
maps
shit
they
You've
map.
been playing
burn
PUBG
through.
for about a month.
You're right. I've been playing that game for a lot longer than a month now.
Even worse.
Fucking game.
I was going to say that as well, if I'm going to bring that up real quick, is if there was ever a benefit to a game like PUBG, and playing it for an extended amount of time, it really makes you forget how good games can be.
Right.
And I wonder if that's like happening a little bit with all of us with Far Cry, because like, you know, the bullet detection's on point, everything seems to be registering, you know, you're not... There's some shit that happens, but it's not at the level of PUBG. Everything looks fucking gorgeous in that game.
The colors are so...
Graphics are
fucking
just
It's like,
vibrant.
I wonder if we came off of like, if we all just played Far Cry 4, or, you know, just as a bad example, probably just anything else that was really good. If we weren't playing a lot of PUBG, if it would have that same effect, of
like a Tomb Raider or something like that.
just like
is
something
up
better
to
than
par as
PUBG.
well.
Yeah, just anything beyond that. If it's just like we're just used to.
I don't think so,
half
because
quality.
I played that Assassin's Creed, which is the last one, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
And that game is...
It's supposed to be very similar how they did their
The
like
maps
overlay.
and the discovery.
Yeah, it's on point. Like, that game is really great, and it's just lacking that multiplayer capability. If you could do multiplayer, I would even take one character multiplayer over just the single player mode.
I love.
I would have bought that game if there was multiplayer. In
Is that one
Assassin's Creed.
character,
sure.
multiplayer, single player?
I think it's meant to.
Okay.
But like Assassin's Creed Unity had it wasn't the full story you could play, but they had all these little
It was
missions you could
broken.
do. It was really broken, but it was so fun when it worked. Like rolling around with
10
like 3 of
times.
your other assassin buddies, and just it was just so good. It was so good. And all the customizing and stuff with like the assassin suit was really cool.
Yeah.
It was. I really enjoyed that. I think they should really take a page maybe out of this book and do like a full Assassin's Creed co-op like Unity, not just like here's this really awesome story and then like 10 missions you can do with your friends. Just like Far Cry, full co-op.
Drop
Ready to
in,
roll.
drop out, Diablo style
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
I'd give this game a 1 out of 10. I think it sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I really enjoy the game. I would put like 8 out of 10 for me. Really good first Far Cry game I've ever played, and impressed.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do. Love hunting bears or getting hunted by bears.
Getting hunted by bears.
more of the latter.
No, I have Far Cry 4. I haven't really played too much of it. I'm thinking about getting a season pass for this one because it comes with Far Cry 3. Because I'm just like I'm gonna have to play these games now, these old ones.
Yeah.
Just to go through those.
Primal's where it's at, I'm telling you, out of the
I have
Far Cry
that.
series.
I have that. I didn't get too much into it, but I'll probably give it another rip here.
It's fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the Primal. I played the
Throwing
Primal
a
for little
spear
bit,
is
too.
not as gratifying as throwing a shovel.
Shovel.
Holy shit.
That's very true.
Stick them in somebody's chest. Oh, that's so gratifying.
But it's
I'm gonna go to Home Depot now.
you can
Just
see a
grab
lot of
bunch
the
shovel.
Primal shining through in Far Cry 5 for sure.
I see some for sure. What'd you think there, Brian?
I would say solid 8, 9 out of 10 for sure. Something around there. It's I can't give it a full 10 just because the multiplayer, the arcade mode needs to be better. I don't know. Maybe I just need to create my own level and make it better after that. Maybe my own level would be better.
I wonder if it's like the the Halo level editor where we could like all be in it at the same time and
God, I
doing
hope so.
stuff. That would be cool.
Even
That'd
if
be
it's
pretty
not,
sweet.
we should just make our own illegal podcast level.
Coming soon.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
It's coming out now. It's gonna happen.
Tell you what, it's gonna be very similar to that one we played where it was just all shovels.
All shovels and some
Was that you
Yetis.
guys? I was playing with that.
Yeah.
It was just like all shovels. Did you guys check out that video I sent? The Far Cry.
Yes.
Oh my
That
god.
dude
John
just
Wick
wrecking
Far
shit.
Cry.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until I watched that video how you could like come down on top of people like that. That was a game changer. I'm like, holy
Well,
shit.
I did that in that multiplayer level where you could jump really high. I did a ton of that in that, but I didn't realize. I thought you had to unlock like a perk to do that in the game,
I
but
didn't
apparently you don't
realize,
anymore.
but, God, that was awesome. Did it with like almost none of the HUD stuff on either. It was like pretty much just like the marking of the people, and it was
Yeah.
just good stuff.
Just the baseball bats at the end, just chucking the two baseball bats up in the air.
That was good
Yeah,
stuff.
this other guy.
I seen him do it. I was just like, oh, I know that's gonna pay off. Gonna
Right.
do something awesome.
I was watching it with my buddy Aaron, and he's like, "That's fake." And then it was the only video out of all of them that they actually they rewound it and then showed it in slow motion to prove it wasn't fake. And I was like, "Dude,
It's there.
oh, it was great, so
So
good."
that seemed like a PC player for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I was running at 60 frames per second too, so I mean it was like definitely a PC player. But either way, it was really good.
Yeah,
The game's really good. Sounds like we all recommend it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
High
buy
five
it,
in the middle.
buy it, buy it.
No.
Just take a second. Just take a second. Think about what you did.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Reflect it.
All is forgiven.
All right, good.
Yep. Moving on.
All right, that brings us to story number 2.
All right. So this is going to be another one. It has something to do with AI. I know we've talked about it a couple different times.
We have?
At least once.
Great.
Maybe even 4 or 5 times now. I don't know.
It's fucking
Um,
every week there's new developments. We just got to bring
this
it up.
this
Honestly,
isn't
crazy.
exactly about AI, though. It has a little bit to do with Alexa. But the majority of this is actually about, well, the way that the article puts it is digital snitches.
Snitches get stitches.
Digital stitches.
Digital
Yes.
stitches.
Essentially, your Alexa and your Fitbit testify against you in a court. And it cites a couple different people. Ross Compton, who actually was essentially, they put it in here as fingered by his pacemaker for arson.
Fingered.
It's quite lovely. Essentially, they used his pacemaker to
Yeah, like help convict him. Yeah, I read that. That was
it
crazy.
good stuff. There was a couple other ones where they used the Alexa to do it as well, and I just thought that it was amazing the fact that these devices can be used for that thing. I mean, you give this thing permission to listen to you all the time, and because you give it permission, it's essentially recorded with your permission. I mean, otherwise it would be inadmissible in a court of law. And because you say it's okay, it's all right.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Now, this one in here, the one I'm reading out here about Dick Dabbit.
Dick Dabbit, that's a lovely name.
Or Dick Debate, depending on how you want to.
Daybait.
So anyway, his story, it's a quick one here. He was found bleeding, his arm and leg lashed to a kitchen chair with zip ties, and 2 days before Christmas on 2015, or it was 2 days before Christmas in 2015, trail of blood led to the basement of Dabbit's home just outside Connecticut. He told the police that there's a mass intruder, killed his wife Connie, and tortured him with no witnesses and no suspects. Police turned to a smorgasbord of digital devices for clues, from the home's smart home security system to phone records, Facebook posts, and a digital key fob. But Connie Dabbit's Fitbit was perhaps the best witness of all. It showed data that she walked about 1,200 feet after getting home from exercise class, far more than the 125 feet that he explained. He told police she'd run straight to the basement from the garage. The Fitbit also revealed Connie had wandered around the house until nearly 10 a.m. And Richard said she was killed about an hour earlier. Interesting part there, it says this man is free on $1 million bail while he awaits trial.
That's kind of funny.
$1 million bail.
$1 million bail.
And he's free.
That is hilarious.
I think
So funny.
I think the craziest thing
It's not
about that
good.
is how accurate the Fitbit tracked those steps, because I'm gonna get one now. No, it's still crazy that fingered her or him. Him, I meant
He got
Well, I mean,
fingered.
fingered by the
guess-
Fitbit.
I guess what it's going to come down to is that stuff going to be held in court, and that's what kind of this article is like. How serious can we be taking that? It's like, sure, that's what the Fitbit says,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like maybe her arm was just sitting there twitching
Right.
after she died, and it thought it was steps.
True.
So it's just like, how serious can we take these?
Well, if it's using GPS, which most of them do, it wouldn't be like twitches set it off, unless it's like a really old Fitbit, and then maybe movement like that. It's not like those old pedometers that you could just throw in the dryer and just, oh man, look how many I did today.
It's throwing pedometers in the dryer.
Maybe me or Ray.
Apparently.
Just no pens, though.
No pens.
No pains.
Yeah, it's just a scary future, because even like the whole fingerprints being used in court cases, which has been around for obviously quite a while, and that was a new thing. This is kind of like that new thing, where the smart devices that
The digital
can be
fingerprint.
used. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, digital fingerprint on it. It's super scary
I like
But-
parts of it.
yeah.
I really like like unsolved crimes that are real crimes
for sure.
that are really fucking bad for humanity.
Yeah, like this
solving
piece of
those.
shit. If he was like the one that killed his wife.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I think that's great. But like, dude, if my fucking Google Home ever fucking gets me thrown in jail for smoking a joint, I'm gonna be pissed. You know what I mean? Like that's just stupid. So how far?
Exactly.
How
we
far-
saw you Googled rape tree.
right. So how far does that set a precedent, and then it leads up to where someone else can set another precedent, and then another precedent, and then we're living in like some crazy
1984
Yeah.
Orwellian
Yeah.
future.
Just this quote here. When does access to that data begin to look less like police searching through someone's belongings and more like forcing someone to testify against themselves? Something the Constitution provides specific protection against.
It really does.
Yeah.
I seen like one argument where you can, like, say you use a fingerprint scanner on your phone, like a police officer can make you use your fingerprint scanner to unlock your phone to get your information. I don't know how well this is reported on. And then, but if you have a pattern or if you have like digits, you don't. So like
You
there
don't
is a
have to
lot.
give up your PIN, but you do have to give up your fingerprint.
Yeah, they basically say like, well, that's different considering like that you have to do that for if you're like a suspect or something. And like a lot of people were saying like, oh, if you're thinking that, you know, cop's gonna get to you, restart your phone, because like on Android phones it automatically
Yeah.
makes you go to your pattern or whatever.
Makes you do the PIN.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, let's say that happened. There's no way. I can't imagine any scenario where, like, a police officer's just like, well, let me see your phone. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah. No.
They're just, I mean, I guess if it was like, we just saw you murder someone, let us see your phone.
Right. Might as well. I'm not getting away
Yeah,
with it.
Just so you know, I googled
But-
rape tree.
But that's interesting because. Oh, I thought you were pointing at something.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm just
pointing at.
messing around. Yeah.
Shit, now I forgot what I was saying there. What were we just talking about?
Fingerprints and
Fingerprints.
Please got your phone.
pattern.
Yeah, I mean,
security like that.
well, let's say that happened and he's just like, use your finger, and you're like using your other finger, and you're just like,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what to
not
tell you,
working.
man.
Yeah.
Phone says no.
Well, you know they got past it too, because I mean that one case that was used against those shooters in San Bernardino, California, I think it was, they couldn't get in the iPhones, and it was a big thing, like the FBI being like, Apple, make a backdoor, and they're like, no, we're not. And then they made that big statement saying that like privacy is the most important thing, blah blah blah. And then recently they've been giving Facebook a lot of crap about that, but you know, it's not an issue anymore. Like they're paying companies that are just like, yeah, we'll unlock these phones for you.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that was. I think that whole story was just like Apple paid fucking bullshit. Like
Honestly, it easily could be,
someone, if you wanted a phone,
There's a lot of fishy things about that whole story.
Yeah, you're gonna find a way. Like the fact that like the cops are coming on the news, like Apple's not letting us in, and Apple's like all these stories are just like Apple's protecting your privacy. But that also was looked at very negatively on Apple.
For
your
sure.
Perspective, where it's just like,
Why a fucking terrorist?
Yeah.
Why aren't you helping?
Why aren't you helping?
Yeah.
But I think that kind of went both ways for them. But yeah, definitely a weird story that was just like, why is this even
a thing?
News?
Yeah, like
look on Craigslist. Someone will help you out. Why are we bringing this to Fox News?
I think there was a company that said they do that. Like, they literally have, like, this mechanism. They charge, like, $500 per device to unlock it for the police or the FBI.
Just recently, there was I don't know the name of the company or really anything, but any device 5S or newer, they claim they can bypass it for you, and it was like super expensive. I think it was like $1,500.
It might have been that. Yeah, that's probably right.
Like it was like
just buy another phone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that instance, it's probably for like in an instance where like it's someone you love died or something. You're just like, I need these photos. Like I don't want to lose this data.
Right.
And also maybe some like, maybe someone trying to catch their significant other doing something, and it's worth that money. Because I can't imagine like any like standard nonsense like, oh, I just have like a picture of my dog on there I need off.
Yeah.
$1,500.
Yeah.
Just clone him.
Probably cheaper. How much was it?
It was like $100,000.
Oh, okay. 200,000, I think is what the number.
I mean, the Humane Society though, $1,500. Shit, you can come home with the whole lot. You're good to go.
Well, for $200,000, you can come home with a few dogs for sure.
For $200,000, you could buy the place probably, depending on where it's at.
That's probably true.
It's a slippery slope, this whole thing. Like, kind of going back to all these cases that are on this that you've shared.
Yeah.
Just like, if you let something slip, like it'd be like, well, in this case, they allowed it.
Right.
So it's allowed again, and then it just becomes referenced so many different times, and then
there's
setting precedent. Yeah.
You get another one setting a further and further precedent, and over time you erode it away to such a point where you don't have anything left.
Starts off with the serious shit like murders, and all of a sudden they're like rolling in like, well, now we have proof you downloaded this movie illegally. We heard you say it. We got it on audio through your Alexa. We got your IP address downloading it.
Which in that specific scenario, America's really fucked up, because if you digitally download that movie, you can go to jail for like fucking insanely like 20 years or some shit like that, isn't it? Like maximum penalty. But if you take that same movie and steal it from a retail location, like your maximum sentence is like
it's not even larceny.
$350 or something.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's the same crime. And
you can just like murder your wife and not go at all. Just be out on bail for
$1 million.
8 years in your trial, and that means it was $1 million bail, so he had to post 10% to get out, right? So he only really had to have $100,000.
From what I understand.
So where'd he get $100,000? I mean, maybe he's like a rich dude, but shit, I feel like if you have the money to be posting $100,000 bail, you have
do a better job killing your wife, dude.
Yeah, you guys just do better.
Do better.
Sarah chose Doge.
Unless that was Amazon posting his bail.
Yeah, maybe.
So it never went to trial and never got proved.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It's
interesting. It's where do you draw the line with that shit?
I think
now. I think we should draw it now.
I don't think a lot of people are going to give a shit, and it sucks because everybody's going to be like, well, I don't have anything to hide, and then like
that's always how
privacy
it
is just going to be nothing. And like back in the day, I mean, I'm pretty sure dictatorships are like, yeah, pretty much if you have something to hide, you're doing something wrong, right? I mean, that's starting.
Well, that's the whole thing with the Patriot Act. It was just like people were like, well, I don't have anything to hide. And it's like, that's not what it's about.
No, exactly. It's about like you're not guilty until you're proven guilty. You know, but it seems to
exactly.
Well, it's like completely around. Like if you get like, for example, if I were to get stopped by a cop, right, just a regular traffic stop, it's all cool. I don't have a problem with that. Whatever. Even if it's random, I don't really give a shit until they're like, hey, can I search your car? And then I'll be like, no.
No, same thing. I would just be
and
like...
And then they're going to play this game. Well, what do you got to hide? And it's just like, and they're going to play that mind game with you just to get you to let them to search your car. And it's just like, That's all. You didn't even really want to find anything. You just wanted to break me to the point where I'd let you search my
And
car,
it really
so that in the future, when everybody's doing that, nobody has anything left.
And it really sucks for somebody that's just good-willed, and they're like, yeah, sure. And then, like, that cop just throws a little baggie there. What's that?
Right.
Sprinkle a little crack on him.
Yeah.
It's oregano.
I think you have a gun.
The other thing that's kind of, I don't know, it just...
I mean, it sucks for even the other side of the spectrum. Like, I mean, just talking about being incriminated, like, to tiptoe around all this, being like a police officer, investigator, whoever, like, you know all the information's on that iPhone, you can't do anything about it. How much would that suck? Just... I mean, if I was, I would
willing
respect
to break
the
rules to find it.
Yeah, some people will. Yeah, I wouldn't, but if I was, but I'm not a police officer for reasons.
Yeah,
I would not want any of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's more and more as we continue to talk about this week after week. Like I've had all my smart devices I have are kind of off, with the exception of my phone. And the more and more, the phone's kind of the worst one, right? Because it's always on you, it's always in your pocket. Here's every goddamn thing you say.
All right,
I've compared
everywhere you've been.
It's getting to the point of where just like I'm gonna have to disable the hot words just so it's not always listening all the time.
I basically
thought about it.
Did that to Google. Like, I was using Bixby for a while because I'm like, I'd rather have Bixby steal my information than Google. And then I stopped using Bixby, and I'm just now using like the Google search on the like widget, and like so it's not recording the data, but you can still use every single feature just with it. So I'm not using Google
instead of
Google Assistant or OK Google.
Yeah.
So,
but isn't the same thing?
Probably.
Okay. They just have one less sound file of Ryan McCary.
But I think like when you enable it, it says recording audio, and it has like that tracked. I actually turned all of that off.
I think it
whether
records
or not
your audio if you use the microphone regardless. But
Oh, gotcha.
The big difference is it's not listening for the keyword all the time.
That
so it's
too,
not,
yeah,
How do
you're
you
right.
know,
Yeah.
though?
You don't.
Does
You
your
just-
battery
you
last
just
any
assume.
longer? It doesn't. So how can I assume that they turned a program off? Like, because it's not like it's extending my battery range.
It might. I mean, it might only use 0.02% of a battery throughout 100%, so it's not like you'd notice.
But
a big
even then,
thing
there's
anyway.
like almost zero way that anybody can get a real statistic on that. That's not like that can all be pre-programmed through the Android system to not show that information to you.
Oh, for sure.
So I mean, you don't. There's no.
You would never know for sure, but at least you can disable it.
One thing.
Hope that it did.
One thing that I'm really
honest.
not liking the more I go through life and the older I become is like the more you look around, it's like the more I'm not able to discern like what is real. You know, the more I understand, the more I find out I don't understand, and it's just like I don't know how to. Reality is getting what is real and what's not. Not like the table is real and what's not, but like what, you know, with this AI stuff and with news stories and
out of any of these stories that we say, we could literally be just saying a bunch of bullshit.
You're right. It's so hard to tell what's bullshit and what's fact anymore. You know what I mean? Because until you actually do a scientific test, even new scientific discoveries that come out, you know, it's hard to say whether. Yeah, that's great. Sounds fantastic, but I don't know if it's real.
And I think
I was at the lab watching the experiment. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of powers that be also trying to send out all these news information too to just confuse you and be like, well, all the news is bad, and then you're like, yeah, it is. I'm gonna stop paying attention. And then the actual journalists doing their job are like, God damn it! Some guy that spent undercover for like 5 years, he's getting like some big case on like some high.
Now nobody's gonna listen to him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all fake news
because they're like, oh, big institutions like this and that.
That's
that
what I'm
sucks.
saying. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's such a weird time to be alive.
Yeah.
Super weird.
I don't know if it's just always been this way, or that's just the point in my life I'm at now, where that's where how I view it.
Or maybe it was born this way. Lady
Maybe
Gaga.
it's Maybelline.
I can't believe it's not butter. I don't know.
I think that's a good wrap up of that story. Unless
I got
you guys have any
one
others.
more little
Okay,
touch on
cool.
as well. I was scrolling through the Facebooks the other day, and I come across this thing that says, so apparently Facebook has labeled everyone as either very liberal, moderate, conservative, or very conservative, and you can actually go into your account settings, into your ads, into your more information,
I heard about
your
that.
categories, and check out your U.S. politics section and see what Facebook labels you. They also give you a lot of fun other tidbits as well.
Interesting. What was yours? Did you?
Mine was moderate. I checked it out. And I'm pretty proud of that.
I kind of want to check mine, but I don't know exactly where to go.
I was reading this thing. I'm sorry, man. I missed exactly what you said. You're under your what have yous was what nuts.
Pretty much.
Find this.
Facebook has you labeled as a type of like what your political views are.
Right.
Very.
Oh, they label you.
You're gonna go to settings, account settings, ads, your information, your categories.
Wow, this is so far in.
Yep. And you get a bunch of different things in there too. It's kind of fun to take a look at.
I in a similar fashion went into my app. Oh God, what was it? It was through my Google, not through my Google Play Store or my phone, but through like the Google account settings, and was going through app permissions and like which apps
had
like access to what shit in your phone. And the amount of shit in there was just like unreal. Like you haven't had like a particular app on your phone since 2010, but like it still has access to like your contact list, your phone records, your messages. Nice. And it's like, why did this app even have any of this access in the first place?
That's awesome.
And I'm just going through just like
getting rid of
all of that shit until I had like just like 10, and there was like so many in there. Just
I gotta check that out. You remember where it was?
Ridiculous amount. It was somewhere in the app permissions, but through like the Google settings itself.
Okay.
Not through like your phone.
Yeah.
I also did download my information. I don't know. I think I mentioned it on one of the previous podcasts, maybe, or just one of you guys.
If it ever made it to air.
The amount of Google information that I got, it was like 12 different downloads, but it was a total of like 30 gigs of stuff, which was crazy.
Well, yeah, because everyone was flaming Facebook.
Google's the worst offender.
Facebook, like your Facebook stuff was generally like a handful of megabytes.
Yeah.
Like under a gig. And then everyone's like downloading their Google one, and it's just like 87 teraflops.
Yeah, if there's any company that's recording your information to be used against you in the court of law, it's going to be Google, probably. Well, since everybody's researching, this is Ryan's dance time.
You're looking at...
Ray's trying to find his, yeah.
Well, I'm going to continue the dance then.
What is that?
I don't know. It's the best dance you ever seen.
Moderate. You're moderate as well.
Moderate as well.
What does that mean? You're a moderate piece of shit.
Very liberal, moderate, conservative, very conservative.
Guaranteed people were different, and then this scandal came out, and they're like, well, everybody's moderate.
Yeah. We didn't know that they could see that. We thought that was just on our back end shit.
God damn it.
Flip everyone to moderate.
Just like I put every survey question neutral instead of positive or negative.
That's the best way to pass a job interview.
Yep, neutral.
I don't care.
That's so crazy.
Right. Well, while you're kind of checking that out, did we have any topics for a midsection?
We do. I think we're just going to do the Yahoo
nice
or submitted answers.
Yeah,
questions.
I like it.
So let's do that while I'm resting my face.
This won't count as one of them. I'm reading in here. Someone asked, "Is Call of Duty Black Ops a video game?"
I've seen that as well. Are you on Uprux?
Yeah.
You are on Uprux. I'm on the same one. Oh man.
My friends keep telling me about it, and I can't find it anywhere.
COD Blops.
Yeah.
So
Call of Duty Black Ops.
I'm gonna start with.
It's
Man,
not a game.
good.
It's just a funny picture with Carl Winslow from the show Family Matters.
Carl Winslow. I have one. It's how much Listerine does it take to get drunk? I was over at my friend's houses, my friend Dave's house, and words are tough. And his dad was drinking Listerine.
Oh God!
So I asked him, "Isn't that just for your breath?" And he says it can get you drunk too. So me and Dave have been drinking Listerine all day.
That's good stuff.
And we finished about half a bottle, and we're still not drunk yet. How much does it take?
It takes a lot.
All of it, yeah.
You're gonna die from some other kind of something before you get drunk.
Yeah.
Additional details, it definitely has alcohol in it. It says 21.6% alcohol. Thanks, blow me. We still have 2 bottles left. I guess we can chug one or hold our noses while doing so. Apparently that was like their rebuttal for an answer they got.
That was their rebuttal.
That's amazing. I got one here.
Hold on, I just want to give you some
Okay,
shit
yeah,
about that.
let's hear some personal information about Ray.
So original formula Listerine is 26.9% alcohol. So that's like 54 proof.
Interesting.
So it's like,
They should have been getting drunk.
yeah, they should have been getting actually pretty wasted. So one standard drink of Listerine is 2.2 fluid ounces. So
Still, like, it would burn. Like, just in my mouth it burns, let alone
Yeah, that's just gotta
drinking
be
it.
devastating your like intestine lining.
I know.
Oh my god.
Your gut flora.
Yeah.
But it saves you like 16 cents
know
a drink
what
on vodka.
Flores?
So like,
Imagine how
Damn it,
painful
Joe
that
Rogan.
would be to like get sick on, to like just vomit somewhere, just all that
vomiting Listerine.
Oh my god!
Like, let alone vomiting like 5 o'clock. Can you imagine vomiting Listerine?
How good it would smell.
The minty vomit
yeah, then
everywhere.
some of them contain like the menthol, eucalyptal, and thymol, which are all, if you consume in high amounts, are toxic. So you could actually die from drinking Listerine.
Well, this guy,
You can die from drinking anything, really.
Yeah,
Steve
but I say
Lyons.
spend the extra like
gonna
16
die.
cents and get a real drink.
Steve Lyons,
It's probably that. Yeah.
Steve Lyons, you're a bitch. Drink more. What's the answer to that?
All right. So
What do
this is a question from Cynthia out of I won't say the city for her sake, Nebraska. So you know. Anyways, I caught my son having sex with another guy, and I think he might be gay. Is there a definitive way I can tell for sure?
What were you doing at his house,
That
Brian?
was. Read that one more
From
time.
Nebraska.
I caught my son having sex with another guy, and I think he might be gay. How can I know for sure?
I don't know.
I'd say you probably just got to catch him one more time.
Yeah, it's gonna take two.
Depends on if you're giving or receiving.
I think Rob Bass made a song like that about it.
Maybe you should just
Takes
wait. Wait and see if it happens again. And then turn it off and
How
turn it back
old
on
are we
again.
talking?
Is there a possibility of accidental gay sex? Whoa, just fell in your butthole.
Well, it was with his uncle, so we don't know if it's gay or just weird uncle stuff.
Doesn't give me a. This could be a phase.
I thought it was normal uncle stuff.
He's only 18.
It could be. Probably not.
Yeah, he's probably
But
gay.
it could be. How do you know for sure? With your heart.
With your heart. Let your heart tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then listen to whatever it says and don't ask him. Definitely don't ask him.
Unless it says like kill him or something, you probably shouldn't do that.
Listen to your heart.
What are we looking at?
Staring over your shoulder.
The guy behind me, getting ready to fall on top of me.
Oh my gosh.
You got Jack back there. Playing drums.
Nope.
You can hear him if you listen.
But you gotta believe with your heart.
You do. What are you at?
We got another one here. Maybe you guys can shed some light on this one. How do you get?
Get.
I thought. Okay.
This is a tough
He
one.
had to add to it because he didn't quite finish it like he wanted to, so I had to make sure I was reading that right. How do you get the smell of butt? And then he had to clarify and add a little more. Out of a leather chair. Thanks in advance, and then he's got some more details here. Had this leather computer chair for a very long time, and of course it had been farted on numerous times, and it kind of smells funny. Like butt. The problem is, this is a work computer chair, so I can't just get a new one. Or do a huge scrub down either. I was thinking Lysol
Scrub
wipes,
down.
but I'm not sure. Pretty much this dude's just been farting in this chair for years, and the company won't buy him a new one, and he is desperate
He
for
just
help
doesn't want
here,
to smell
guys.
it anymore, yeah.
You can't wash it. You can't just throw it out.
I would
Armor all
I
wipes?
already have the answer. Like,
I would cut
Ray knows.
a little
He's
slice
experienced it.
in the padding, and I would shove little car air fresheners in there.
Ooh, that's a decent idea.
I just think it would last longer.
it would work.
Now you're
But,
cutting up company property.
right.
Yeah, but it's
Now-
okay, because they
That
won't
you've
buy him a
already
new
shit
chair.
on.
Because eventually once it's cut, then they'll buy him a new chair.
Or just cover it up with the worst smell, just vomit
There you go,
Listerine all
there you
over it.
I would
Minty
just
fresh.
take this chair and just throw it out the goddamn window. Like, just, it's gone now. It's broken. It's
Don't know what happened to it, but it's not here anymore, and I need another one.
Can I get another one now?
Why does it have to be out the window?
I would.
Because it's gone, man.
Probably recommended not to do it out the window unless you can open the window first.
That's true. Because then you.
Then you need a new window.
Well, either
True.
way,
Maybe you
either
need
way, if
new
they're gonna
windows,
make you
too.
go out in the parking lot and use your same fucking chair, at least you got some fresh air now through that window.
Yeah, and I bet you the breeze on the way down kind of helps the smell
Air
a
it out
little bit.
Yeah.
Or stop eating curry before you do work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And have
probably a
these
definite.
nasty farts that stain your leather chair.
Love curry before work.
My advice would just get a new one. Just buy a new one yourself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if your chair smells like ass, no one wants anything to do with that.
Why you sitting in it, bro?
They call you Mr. Ass Chair. And when you think of when you're getting another one, maybe buy one with like an ass filter, or even better.
What's an ass
There's
filter?
there's these underwears with like charcoal filters in there that'll just filter your farts right out.
There you go.
You're good to go. But you got to replace that chair.
It all starts with the chair, and then just keeping better upkeep of the next chair.
Or the chair should replace the person.
Sarah Chair's dosh.
Man.
So dumb.
Oh damn it.
Okay, what do you got, Ray?
Did you find an exciting question?
Kind of. This person wants to know if the movie The Lion King is based on a true story.
I mean, in the sense of like movie terms, how they use based on a true story, yeah. There were lions in Africa.
True.
That is based on a true story.
Happened to sacrifice
Yeah.
one.
Pretty
to the
sure you'd have to
stampede.
go back and ask Shakespeare if Shakespeare was a person, because there's also that floating around there too. Whoever wrote Hamlet, I'm pretty sure it's Hamlet. If that was
Hamlet,
based on a
Hamlet,
true story.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure The Lion King was based on Hamlet.
Or Hamlet was based on the Lion King.
Maybe. Time traveling.
Which came first?
Weird.
The people or the lions?
The egg.
Sarah
Had
chose
little lion babies in it.
No.
Oh my god.
If somebody's just listening to this episode and we keep on saying Sarah chose Dosh, she was a researcher that did an awful job with infographics.
The
Just
worst
to,
infographics you've ever
She
seen.
really went out of her way to fuck it up.
You ever
do
look
better.
at something to get some information and you got done looking at it and you're like, I still don't
Know
I'm,
what's
I'm
going
worse
on,
off.
I had a better idea before I
Chose
looked
Dosh.
at this.
yeah, what's your guys' favorite character in The Lion King if it's a real true story? Real true story.
Rafiki.
Double positive.
I've never seen it.
What the fuck? Jesus.
Are you just saying that to be an asshole again?
Never seen The Lion King.
Never?
I got the gist of it. I'm all set.
Have you actually seen Rick and Morty?
No. But I've seen enough commercials.
I know I like them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
that
I
blows
mean,
my
I've
mind.
definitely seen parts of it for sure. Just through pop culture, probably seen more than half of it. Just video chunks.
What's your excuse for
Like-
everything? I've seen enough of
I've
these
seen enough
commercials.
Watch Mojo videos to have seen all of The Lion King.
It's like the first 15 years of Rob's life, he just lived in a commune where there's
No, you didn't.
There's
Like
nothing.
I see, there's a Hakuna Matata.
What a
The
wonderful
dad
phrase.
dies.
Hakuna Matata.
Kid grows up. Kills Scar. Lions.
There we go.
Nailed it though. Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Rafiki as well.
Rafiki, he had to be some kind of monkey of some sorts.
No, actually.
Scar. Because fuck
maybe.
Mufasa.
he was a baboon.
Yeah.
Fuck James Earl Jones and Mufasa.
The Feeks. Well, it was just a bad movie. No, I'm just kidding.
From now on, before we start these podcasts, we need bowls of rotten fruit ready just to throw at Rob.
There should be just like a hanging
Read this response.
whiteboard in the back that's just like a list of all the shit I haven't seen as we come across it. We're just like adding it to the list.
That's a funny response. The best answer to this question.
Sure, I know lots of lines you talk. Really?
There's
From
a-
Africa?
Say it out loud, man.
Say it again.
Africa!
God.
Okay? Africa!
Just in case you didn't hear the first time. Shit.
Chinese. Why do people call me a chode at work?
Probably because you're a chode, okay?
When I do something good at work, people say, nice job, chode. When I ask what they mean, they just don't tell me. It's a compliment, and a very high one at that. You should be proud. You're doing a good job, and people at work are letting you know it. Keep it up, and someone else does something good around the job, be sure to let them know by saying the same thing. You the man. I said, thanks. Makes me feel good.
Thanks.
Good job, Chode.
Good job.
Yeah, that's bad advice.
Yeah, probably.
My friend says she hopes that I don't reproduce. What does that mean?
Well, you're a whore. They don't need more
This
whores.
We're just rolling through these stupid questions
Might
at
as
this
well.
point. Not even answering them. Just
Just
reading through
shoot
them.
them off.
We'll do better. Sarah Chojos is just watching the cast like, fuck you guys.
You're shit on my infographics. What about your fucking structure of this podcast?
This is fucking silly nonsense. But someone was asking for the some urgent help. They need dance music.
Urgent.
The theme, Holocaust.
Ooh.
It says that I need creepy Jewish Holocaust music, quick. I've tried looking for some, but can't seem to find any.
I know one. Burning for You. Mr. Cole.
Oh boy. Moving right along.
Don't Fear the Reaper follows that.
Oh, that's lovely.
Holy shit.
How do you unbake a cake?
Do midgets have night vision? One of my friends told me that midgets have night vision, but I wasn't sure if it was true. I know a little person from school, so I called him up and asked him. He didn't say anything and just hung up pretty confused. Can anyone help me?
Yeah.
Thanks for
They
the
do.
answers, but I'm still a little confused. Does she think I made fun of her night vision?
No, it's common knowledge.
Or is
that
it
all
just a
midgets have
rumor?
Yeah.
night
Did you
vision.
think I made fun of her night vision?
Okay, I think that wraps up our segment there. I think right now this is going to go into the most lighthearted topic of them all.
Get him, Rob.
So this can go any various way you could possibly want it.
Oh, man.
I just wanted to essentially just talk about it. If you have opinions, feel free to share them. Just wanted to bring up some
Leave them in the
numbers.
comment section, you assholes watching.
Remember, it's
I was
super
talking to you
lighthearted,
guys.
so it's okay.
Oh.
But sure, leave us some comments. It's guns.
Bang, bang.
It's guns.
Scuns.
What about guns?
Just in general, just there's a lot of shit going around. We might as well throw in our 2 cents on the topic here if we're gonna do it. In particular, just some numbers I pulled up here that I shared with you guys. This is from The Guardian, so with a grain of salt, of course, but
Fucking.
uh,
Are they from the main? the European land again?
I don't know,
England?
but
Fucking Guardian.
what they this one is just about the mass shootings in the U.S. and it's claiming that there has been 1,624 of them in the last 1,870 days.
Mass shootings.
Yes.
Defined as 4 or more people shot in one incident, not including the shooter.
And does that include with police? Police confrontations?
I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't
Doesn't-
know. I don't know why they would exclude police. They are people too, but it goes through and there's all this infographic just most likely scrolling on your screen right now. Just all the numbers. You got the yellows. I'm again on the Guardian one. The yellows being injuries,
Jesus.
the reds being death here, and you don't hear about all these obviously, and I thought that was interesting that out of all of these on here, you may have heard of a handful of them.
Right.
Even some that are super super close to us here that I didn't even know happened.
So many. Yeah.
What you guys think about that? Let's talk about it.
I think it's pretty crazy the fact that we don't hear about all of these, especially the ones that are local to us. I feel like, just we would have heard from a family member or something like that.
Seems
And
like
talk
you
about
would
it that way, or seen a post on Facebook, because
something.
everything.
So it's very very strange how, you know, they kind of pick and choose which ones they want to throw in the news, and it really makes you think, because like every single one that was essentially in the news, at least that I've seen, shooter always just like kills themselves. It's always seems strange to me. I feel like if you're going to go through the process of doing something like this, obviously not all the time, but
Every once in a while, you want to get some famous from it.
well, not famous, but like at least let someone know why.
Right.
Like,
I
hey,
disagree with that.
they didn't put onions, or they put onions on my fucking cheeseburger, and I said no onions.
And that was it. I couldn't
mean,
have any more.
Something.
Anything.
Seems like it just seems like if you were gonna do something like that, you'd at least like
Leave like a note or something.
it's something. It's almost too convenient that they just happen to always kill themselves before you can ask them questions about anything at all.
Some leave reasons, like, I mean, if you do any investigation on them, like the YouTube shooter, that one's the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people died in that one, if it's even on this
3?
list.
No,
like
this
3.
this was before that.
But like, basically, it was like her being fed up with like just YouTube in general, and then just, I don't know, like enacting like that hatred or her hatred for like the company, and then just like her peers like making fun of her and whatnot. I mean, that's not really like an exact statement like fuck these people and doing so, but
I mean, from what I was seeing about it, she pretty much was just constantly being demonetized.
yeah,
Even though she didn't even have like
she was a nut for sure.
I think her like highest video had like 40 something views or something. So it's not even like she was.
Have you seen these videos?
No.
They're awful.
What
They're
were
really
they
bad.
about?
She's Iranian, and some had dealt with like some Iranian like information and stuff, but I've seen some like where she's just talking about veganism. She's like green screened with a bunny behind her, and she's like holding a bunny or like lettuce, and she's just explaining how veganism's good and the difference between veganism and vegetarianism. So not like super controversial things like, I think everybody should die and these are the reasons why, but just
Raisins.
raisins. Yeah, just awful videos, and like just those are the reasons why she has no views. It's just they're bad. They're really bad. Like,
I'm wondering why she's being demonetized. I mean, if that's even true, again, this is the thing that I seen is like that was the reason why she was just like,
yeah, she was thinking it was a personal attack against her. Like, she's Iranian, and like, oh man, like,
And that's kind of swing back to the point I was making earlier. Like, how do you know what's true with these things? You know what I mean?
Why was that one in the news?
And this one isn't.
And you could probably guess why without saying it. And you know, some of these other ones which are much higher death counts, and then just like you don't hear about those.
Or or there's tons of them on here too where a lot of people got shot and no one died.
If you guys go to the one from the Washington Post, it's got beyond. If you go scroll down to where it says 292 guns, it says shooters often carried more than one weapon. One was found with 24. At least 167 of their weapons were obtained legally. 49 were obtained illegally, and it's clear how 76 weapons were acquired. I'm guessing illegally. If you couldn't find, if you couldn't find a legal manner of it, if you highlight some of these guns, you get some interesting facts about a lot of these illegally obtained. There's actually really interesting stuff in here. It's talking about the difference between the pistols and the rifles, and there was even an interesting video someone had released.
Sarah chose Doge. This is how you make infographics.
Yeah, for sure. Take notice. But it was talking about, like, you know, as a guy walking around pretty much being like, do you want to ban assault weapons? And all these people were just embarrassingly just like, yeah. And then they were like, well, what is that?
Right.
And they were just like, oh, I don't know.
I also watched this other one where it was like, all right, here are 9 guns. Point to the assault rifle. And people were like, just randomly picking. No one knew, and there was even one where they picked it, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a Nerf gun." or something like that. Like
That's a Nerf gun.
like
It's Nerf for
it
nothing.
might have been like an airsoft pistol or something like that. But it was just like so. And I also find from hearing a lot of opinions on both sides that the people who have the opinions towards banning guns of any sort are typically the people who've never shot or owned or done anything with a gun.
Right, for sure.
So it's really weird. It's like if you were to, have some medical treatment, anything that you needed, and you were to choose, someone to help you out, it's most likely going to be a doctor, and then beyond that, it's going to be a doctor who's performed that thing before. And then to accept an opinion from someone who has never shot a firearm, never owned a firearm, never had a real interaction with a firearm, to use their opinion, as valid seems kind of strange, because you would never accept that sort of thing for hiring someone for a professional service, but we're okay with using that as how we're going to create our laws that run our lives. So that part of it just really seems strange to me.
That was a strange comparison. I was trying to follow.
I totally understand where you're coming from. The fact that you can't take necessarily somebody's advice about guns if they have never used guns, but those people also deserve a say. I mean, this is something that could potentially kill them and their entire family. Just because they don't have a gun and choose to not have a gun around their kids doesn't mean that they don't have the right to essentially protect themselves.
Does that also give them the
us from
right to
protecting
tell
themselves.
someone else that they can't? I mean, they already don't have to own a gun or have it around their kids.
No.
Nobody forces them to own a gun. Like,
No
you
one.
must buy one. May 18th, the deadline. If you don't own one, we're going to come to your house and we're gonna do something about it.
The Purge.
The first purge.
They can already have, people can already have that.
Trailer
you don't
now
want one
live.
around your kids, fine. Don't have one. I don't have a gun at my house right now. That's fine.
Get him.
Get him. Everybody get him. I know where I'm at.
It's fine. I don't care. But there's no way. I don't
His
know.
address is
555.
Oh. I'm sure you guys
Hi.
can tell which side I'm leaning on, for sure.
I'm pretty sure I'm on the same side as you. I'm just like,
Devil's advocate.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle, like literally. If there's middle. Like I'm not for, against. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain exactly a stance that I have, but
Well, feel free to take your stances. I'm just
Yeah.
slap some facts on here.
Facts-
Some
facts it
interesting
up.
stuff. If these again, this is from Washington Post, so we know their view on this stuff.
Their headline at the very top is "Democracy dies in darkness."
Jesus Christ, a little fucking dramatic.
What's cool about this is if you can, there's a little drop down at the top. I don't know if you guys see this, where you can literally scroll through like all these, and it tells you like how many shooters, how many guns they had, the victims injured and killed, which is really cool. But an interesting part about this is out of 153 shooters, all but 3 were male. More than half, 88 of them, died near or at the scene of the shooting, often killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean they're nuts. Like if you have the mentality of go to kill multiple people, like you're gonna die.
Why?
Whether by your own hand or somebody's gonna shoot you, and that's why you did it, for the most part.
It's just
Men are dicks.
It's-
was
well-
that what you said?
I mean, essentially, it's just an interesting. I didn't really have anything to say about
Yeah.
it, but it was just interesting that out of all those, only 3 of them were women.
I would say psychologically, as far as science goes, we probably already knew that was going to pan out like that if we were to, before this study was even done.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it was like a
I think more men are gun owners.
Right.
than-
Well, not even gun
Exactly,
owners in
but-
general, just more likely to commit physical violence of any sort.
Yeah, just more aggression, just testosterone,
Yeah,
being
exactly,
like.
yeah.
Not that women can't do that or
Oh, yeah.
don't do that.
I mean, yeah, it's the
Look
YouTube
at
show.
Ronda Rousey. She
Yeah.
whooped some ass, but that's as far as the average goes. I think the average is stacked it for sure against violence and.
I would agree. Testosterone is a factor for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys were like, I don't know where you're at, but I think I agree. But we didn't really say where you were at. He said he was in the middle, which also wasn't anything.
No, it really wasn't.
I don't even know what that means. I'm in the middle.
That sounds like you're for banning
Banning what?
of assault rifles.
I don't get fuck it.
Or I kind of
Fuck
that's what I
that.
was getting
I
by
say
like what you were saying.
if you have the money to be able to afford a tank, park it in your front yard. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a fuck. Weapons to me is just, they're all just tools, and the way you use them is what matters to me. Because, for example, let's just say every human being on the planet owned a gun, and then one day some public figure, the government, was just like, all right, now everybody go turn in your guns. And then there's good people. Obviously, we know there are people that do good things and people that do bad things throughout our everyday life. We meet these people, people that are generally good and people that are generally bad. And all the good people are like, fuck, they said turn in their guns. They're going to go turn in their guns. And then you have a scenario where you have all these bad people who are like, no. And so, now what? Now what? Are the Crips and the Bloods, are they going to go turn all their fucking guns in? No. No, they're not. So why would I just don't understand that. I think it's really opening up society to a potential threat that, especially in America, exists because there are so many guns. You're not going to get them all out of the hands of the people you need to get them out of.
There's more guns than people.
Which I'm for. That's great. But if you don't have an equal distribution of the guns, you have just as big of a problem as you have when there's not an equal distribution of wealth. It's just bad.
I mean, I'm for, guns for them. It's one of those things, though, that just like you can't. There just won't be a solution for it. There'll be little band-aids that'll be little temporary fixes.
If fixes at all, they're probably not really even fixes.
Yeah, they're really not. Like if you were to ban assault rifles, all of these would have still happened.
All that means is when someone sells an illegal assault rifle, they make more money.
Really, yeah, that's really what it's going to come down to.
I feel like if they have it, they being the government, if the government has it, I should be able to have it as well. Not that I will have it, but I should have the option.
Right, yeah.
That's really what the Second Amendment was really all about, was to protect yourself from the tyranny of.
I mean, it explicitly says to keep a militia.
I think there was a little tortilla action there.
A little like tortilla, a wet tortilla hitting a baby in the chest.
God damn it!
Line it up.
So we were
with a smile on your face.
Middle of these heated debate. Talking about the guns here, there's really we were talking about there's like really nothing you can do. I mean, you just kind of have to roll with the punches at this point. I think it's one of those things where it's a lot. It's way more than way more than the other countries that are comparable to us have, as far as deaths and injuries, shootings in general. But it still seems almost like a distraction from, like, I mean, how many other things kill way more people on a daily basis?
Jet fuel being dumped on them.
Anything.
Getting Alzheimer's.
I mean, anything. Like,
I mean, homicides are actually down. Like, less people are dying nowadays. Like, if you pay attention to the news, no, it looks like it's way worse.
Right.
But it's reported so much now. Like, no.
Well,
how many people would have
everywhere.
to die every day from like sporks? Before, like, people just like stabbing sporks into people's eyes and killing them, and then before we were like,
I wonder what that actual statistic is.
Sporks, like we gotta ban sporks. They're giving them to kids in lunchrooms. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you'll sit there and be like, look at all these deaths guns are causing, but I mean, you can take so many other things. I mean, alcohol, tobacco, poor diet, and it's just like, why aren't we talking about that shit? That shit's killing more people every day than like this shit does in a year.
The opioid crisis is like the craziest thing right now, but I think the focus on the gun control or whatever you want to say it's on, or like the YouTube shooter and everything, mental health is like the biggest thing that needs to be focused.
They do not want to talk about.
No,
at all
nobody does.
Because it comes
it's
down
the
to
root
the
of the
pharmaceutical
cause.
companies.
Yeah,
and who are hand in hand making money off the gun profits anyways.
Out of those absolutely beautiful infographics that we looked at of all the shootings that occurred, I wonder, of the shooters that were in, of each of those incidences, how many of them were on some sort of prescription medication that definitely, without a doubt, affects your mind.
9 out of 10.
And I bet...
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
It probably does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
I bet you if that evidence came out, it would be damning. I would be willing to bet now, prior to the study being done, that
being
it
on
would be
medication,
absolutely damning.
I think I heard Mr. Joe Rogan talk about that very thing, and I'm pretty sure he said like 100% of them were on some kind of prescription drug.
I mean, I don't think you fact check that
No,
by any
I don't.
means.
But
yeah,
he is my fact check.
he is my fact check.
Joe Rogan's my Wikipedia.
Yep. But yeah, like just mental health. Like I was
more valid.
doing some research just on psychology earlier, and like just connecting like mass shootings to suicides. I'm gonna try to pop this little baby into the chat, but it was pretty much saying there's 3 suicides for every homicide. That's crazy.
Oh wow.
Ooh, homicide's got to step it up.
Oh God.
Or suicides has to step it down.
Yeah.
File unsupported. Sweet.
Sounds boring.
It's basically just them trying to say that like if somebody's
Those are jokes, folks.
wanting to commit suicide anyways, like they're in that bad mindset where they're on medication maybe, or if they're just not getting the right medication to them because they're just getting pills thrown at them by the pharmaceutical monster, they're willing to do something like a mass shooting because they're like, I want to end it all anyways.
Might as well go out in a blaze
There's
of glory.
reasons they're feeling that way because they're getting resented by their peers, classmates, whomever, and they want to take it out on somebody as well as take it out on themselves. So the self-infliction is as much pain they want to inflict on other people too. So it was kind of interesting to read about that. That I don't know. It's just they need to focus on that, not really the guns themselves, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we probably have too many. Like, who the fuck needs a 50 caliber fucking sniper rifle?
Dude, have you ever shot a 50 caliber sniper
No,
rifle?
I haven't, but I don't think it. Like, maybe if you.
Once you shoot one, you will change your mind.
And I don't think it's about like needing it. Like,
No,
if
yeah.
we're gonna bring it
The
down
ability
to, like,
to have
needing
it,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
none of us
Yeah,
really
it's like,
need
who needs
any of this.
A Banshee, 4-wheeler.
Right.
No one, but they're fucking awesome.
I mean, I'd probably enjoy it as well. Like, I'm definitely not
You
against.
hit some like tannerite from 150 yards, and you just watch that bullet drop. Like,
Or fucking Star Wars speeder quadcopter.
awesome.
Yeah. I guess the only time you would need one is if, like, the government's like, yep, we're going to kill all you now. And then they
that's
have a
what-
tank
And
coming
that's
at you.
exactly what
it's
it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
and we're on our way.
Well, do you guys think that nukes should be something that you could buy?
No.
No.
I don't think nukes should
Where do
be
you draw
something
the
that
line?
anybody should
Yeah,
have.
like
though. I
what-
don't think the government
Well,
should
I
have them.
agree with that. But
I
if the
can see where
government
you're
has
going at.
access to it,
Yeah, what weapon?
Maybe we should use our arms to get rid of them. I don't know, because that's crazy.
Our
Killing-
grizzly bear
yeah.
arms.
Yeah. But no, I don't
Right
like.
to bear arms.
That's just like with guns. Even when you have a fully auto sniper rifle, you physically are only capable of carrying so many bullets at a time.
yeah.
And you're physically only capable of only shooting so many bullets at a time. Even if it's a high number, it's still countable. But once you hit that nuclear explosion button, when you're vaporizing people, you're killing them so fast.
You have enough stockpiled to just like wipe out half of the earth if something were to happen.
Or more.
Yeah.
Or more. 15,000 nukes. Like that, literally, I think you could probably, of land, spaces like of actual land, you could probably hit every spot on Earth with 15,000
Like
nukes.
it's got to be someone's job to decide like when to keep making them and stop making them, and that guy should be fired.
One more.
Yeah.
Let's just do one more.
It's like, well,
man.
we got enough to like hit every country several times.
Can you imagine how stressed out that dude is every day? Like,
Probably not
just one
much.
more. Just one
Well,
more.
I think it's like
They're
way
just
worse.
like, what do we do? And he just like looks at his watch. He's like, how many do we got here? 15,000. One more.
Just one more.
I think there's way worse. Like, as we were talking about, like the SAR bomb, that one huge bomb that was in the 80s, they tested, and it's like 20 times more than the Hiroshima bomb.
yeah, level all of New
But
York.
what do they have now? Like, we're not in a dick contest right now with Russia, so we're not really like, oh, this is what we have. This is what they have. Like, they're developing worse and worse shit. Like,
We launched our first nuclear.
probably have a
weapon.
planet killer by now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we probably have Death Star type stuff.
Yeah, we probably have a bomb big enough to blow up the moon, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Fuck you,
I'd be
moon.
willing to bet.
That's probably true, and it's terrifying.
Hashtag fuck the moon.
Yeah.
Moon's fake. It's hologram.
Nuke would fly right through it.
Fuck.
Damn it! Not fuck the moon.
Just hit some people somewhere, some other planet, and
Carl
just
and
keeps
Josie.
going.
Just
Yeah,
keep
just
going.
Chilling
People
out.
in some other galaxy.
it's just
Aliens are real.
they're just sitting there, just like having that discussion, like we're finally allowing the Earth to join the Galactic Federation. And I was like, what happened? Oh, they launched a nuke at the moon, and it was fake, and now it's coming right for us. And they're just like, goddamn Earth, you're out every time.
That's great.
But yeah, that does. Where do you draw the line there? Because it's like,
Yeah.
no one should have that. That's just an unnecessary.
Yeah, I say that nukes are out. Anything that big of a scale has to be gone. Everybody just needs to get rid of them, and the world will be a better place for it. Once those are gone, though, I say there is no line.
What do you mean?
I say that whatever everybody has, everybody else can have it too.
Oh,
Napalm.
you're saying outside
I'm just saying
outside
outside of the
nuclear
government.
weapons.
Yeah,
Mustard
outside of
gas?
nuclear weapons.
Or
Mustard
call
gas?
weapons.
B2 bomber.
Depends on the occasion. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're having a cookout, those things come in handy.
Get them hot dogs all warmed up.
Well, they should probably just be put up to a vote between the entire population of the world.
Yeah, but
I
even
guess
then,
we
how
come up
do-
with
how
this
do you
new weapon.
enforce that
They
shit?
basically are.
Like, you can't have mustard gas. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
and then you go to war and you're like, fuck you, mustard gas.
I mean, that's
like,
literally what the United States did.
exactly. So like, there's no way to. How do you stop any of that from happening? It's the same thing as gun control. You can't stop it. You literally
I know,
can't.
it's so tough.
Maybe the government's getting nervous. Like,
Maybe you
how
just
many
launch
guns are out
those
there?
15,000 nukes
They have
and put
more
an
than
end to
us
it.
now.
But it's always been that way in the United States. So like, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's just that has been our nation since its founding. Like,
I don't know why this is the meter that I'm saying, like, where I'm at. Like, this is for guns and this is against them. But this middle here, basically what I was going to mention that I just fucking forgot. Somebody else save me.
Let him drown. Let him drown.
how can you have a middle ground? I guess.
I'm definitely for guns, though.
Mine's
Definitely
my middle ground is that I think that there should be some kind of like some regulation to like people with mental health. They shouldn't be able to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this quick test and get a fucking firearm, and then just go fucking shoot up the school. There needs to be more accountability to fucking regulations of how to get that weapon.
I mean, it's already pretty severe. Like, you can't just buy a gun.
No, yeah,
You
I know.
can't. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not how
you
it
can't
works.
just go to Walmart. Yeah, like I want this fucking rifle.
Yeah.
Walk
Unless
out
you go
with
to
it.
like a
I know.
shop meet.
You
or
can
something
like
like that.
absolutely go do that.
But it's
You might-
pretty easy
yeah.
though. Like it's way easier. Like it's probably easier to do that than it is to renew my fucking registration on my car, and that's fucking crazy.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
I bought a gun from someone else who was selling theirs, and I literally was just like, "Hey, I'm getting this gun," and they were like, they didn't even like look at me, like threw me a form and was like, "Bring that back to us," and I was like, "Okay," and I brought it back, and she just like looked at it and stamped it and was just like, "There you go." Like they weren't like, "Here's the rules. Here's what you can and can't do with what I just handed to you. Here's how you need to carry your ammunition. Here's how you need to make sure this is in your trunk and this is separate and this is locked and this is how you need to transport it." There was nothing. They were like, "Here you go."
Should be like driver's training. Like
that
just
shouldn't-
have
that
basic
shouldn't be their
training for it though.
responsibility. If it's a law, I mean, that's not their responsibility to make sure you know the laws. If they're
Well, it seems like if you're just going to hand someone a deadly weapon, they'd be like, "Hey, make sure you don't like carry this into a bank."
I'd be like, hey, just show me your ID with your certification that you can have a gun. Like a motorcycle endorsement or something like that.
There's the whole other opposite side of the factor too, where there's this guy. I'll go back to the pot guy's example. So some guy got busted 30 years ago growing marijuana plants, and he got caught a felony for it. He's still not allowed to own a firearm. What? That's
silly.
fucking crazy.
Or just like now, like you can't have your like concealed permit if you got your medical card.
Fuck you.
But you can like take all these crazy like antidepressants and just
Shoot up schools.
you can walk into a Walmart and walk out with a gun.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Like there is a background check, but they just literally go, "Hey,
All
you
good.
ever heard of this guy?" And they go, "No." And they go, "Okay, cool." And then you walk right on out. or in the instance of you just get them from someone, there's always the gun show loophole as well.
I don't really have a problem with any of that.
Well, I don't either.
Yeah.
But essentially what I'm getting at is like what you were saying is like there would have to be some kind of like test.
But there's no way to. There's no way to do that.
There is no way to do that.
That's
like,
not possible.
And if you had ill intentions, you
could fake all that.
You would know how to get by that test. And who's to say like you're just like you see those YouTube videos of guys who just have $500 million in guns, just like a fortress, an arsenal of weapons that could rival any government, and probably just a collector, avid fan of guns, no ill intentions, but something fucking happens one day, and he's like, he's not okay anymore. Something, fucking McDonald's fucked up that order for the last day, and you're just like, you know what?
No,
I'm not dealing with this shit anymore.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with the mental health thing, but I don't know if it's the same facet, or if it's a different factor in it, but also just respect for life in general. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you think that's part of the mental thing?
Yeah, because in the psychology thing, they basically played off that. Like, if somebody's willing to, like, basically take their own life, they're easily willing to take other people's with them, where their view of life is just more skewed than another person's that's not going to do something like that.
None of this is real anyway. Might as well just...
It's just all a dream inside a sea turtle.
The moon's not the only one that's a hologram.
I am.
It's definitely
hologram.
It's fucked up. I
it's
don't
fucked
think
up.
I would ever be turning my guns off.
There's no fix. There's no band-aid. There's nothing you can possibly do except just stockpile.
All I gotta
Stockpile. Buy them all. Yeah.
Buy more guns, people.
Get them while they're hot.
All I gotta say is the YouTube shooter was caused by Ray saying "fuck YouTube."
Now you get to live with that.
And then if you guys, here's another just kind of just a good example before we move on here. Just as like, there's nothing you can do, is that her parents called the police and were like, "Hey, she's outside YouTube headquarters with weapons, and we have reason to believe she's going to do something really bad." And then they showed up. There she was, with weapons outside the YouTube headquarters, just crying. And they were like, "What are you doing?" She was just like, "Oh, I don't know." And they were like, "Well, have a good day."
What?
Have a good day.
Take that with a grain of salt, because those weren't the exact words that they were used, but they did confront her.
And nothing.
They couldn't. She was just sitting there crying. Hasn't committed a crime yet.
Can't minority report her.
Right. And then, a couple hours later, there she is. Upset.
Yeah.
So that is another example of just like, even when you know it's about to happen, what are you gonna do until it starts happening?
I guess what it comes down to is everybody wants to feel safe, right? And whether you're on one side of the gun argument or not, your purpose for feeling the way you do is because you want personal safety, whether or not you want there to be no guns out there to shoot you, or you want to be able to shoot back with your own gun, right?
For sure.
Is that what it comes down to most likely? Would you guys assume?
That's usually what I see.
So do you think it's up to the individual, or up to the state, or up to a society, or up to the family? Whose fucking responsibility is someone's safety?
It's definitely your own.
That's what I would say too. Your personal responsibility. So I guess do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Do what the fuck you gotta do. You want to ban guns? Ban guns. You want to go?
If you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, you can get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Or Garfield mac and cheese.
You heard me.
Maybe you would prefer spaghetti and meatballs.
Okay, to go to a heavier topic. Do animals fart?
Fart?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, I got 3 dogs in my house.
They do.
Heard it.
Yeah.
Witnessed
Heard it, smelled it.
Tasted it.
Now my question is,
you've
how does
tasted a
that
bad
dog
one.
fart without butt cheeks? That's my question.
Just the
Like, I hear an audible dog fart, and I'm like, how'd you even perform such a task? The sound's in the cheek.
the sounds in the cheek. But this was a study done in 2017 where basically it just Bart Simpson style joke, like, does this centipede fart? Or something like really dumb. And then they actually did a study, and like they started asking different doctors, professors and stuff, and they compiled a spreadsheet of a bunch of different animals, if they fart or not, and then how bad they smell. Some of them.
My God.
So this is pretty fantastic. So I'm gonna go around and basically just mention an animal, and
Race cheating.
if you think. Stop looking at this list.
Put up a trapper keeper in between you guys. This is some bullshit.
Says, does it fart?
Damn it, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look away.
I can't look away.
Would you say does wood lice? Some of these animals
Wood lice?
Yeah, wood lice.
What is that?
Wow, they broke that down, huh?
Wood
like
lice?
a termite, I'm guessing.
Yep.
That's what that is.
Yep.
I'm
A
gonna say
wood
no.
lice.
No.
I would
No
say.
from
I would say
Brian.
no.
Right.
Let me
I'm gonna guess.
consult my memory bank.
Molasses.
Check out this picture that I took.
Let's check out this picture I just looked at. Was wood lice on the guest list?
The last time I hung out with some wood lice.
No, I think I'm gonna guess probably everything farts.
The Ray's closest to it. Wood lice, yes. It excretes ammonia. So basically,
It's not your typical fart.
but it is.
Or is it?
Ammonia.
I'm not going to go around and ask you pretty much all these animals because that would be forever. But camels fart, cheetahs do, elephants, fancy goldfish. That's weird to be honest.
A fancy goldfish.
As opposed to a not fancy goldfish.
Like here,
The fancy one farts though.
so
The
Backwards.
fancy one doesn't.
spreadsheet, first category on this Excel spreadsheet: A, animal; B, scientific name; C, does it fart; D, description; E, paper link, and then verified by, if it's like a Twitter, they have like a lot of at the professor's
Who's
name.
paying for this?
I don't
Probably
know.
our tax dollars.
Probably
They're
Amazon.
just like poking wood lice and then just got like a.
That was ammonia.
Yeah.
Giraffe stew.
I mean, I want to hear some that don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like.
Yes, there
like
are.
all mammals would have to.
Bristleworms, birds.
Birds don't fart?
No, it says, but they could if they wanted to. It's the
How do
description.
they know that? They don't, but like they have the ability. They
But
choose not to.
The link is to a popular science, so I think it might be Sarah Joe's Doge that reported on it.
That was futurism.
Common whelks, whatever that is
It's
that
like
no?
a guy.
You guys, I heard
Parrots, but that's a bird.
my
Short crabs.
my bearded dragon farted the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can you verify that on the list?
Bearded dragon, yes, it is. There's nothing under description or paper, but it's
It
confirmed
was
by
so wild.
confirmed by @LizardSchwartz on Twitter. So that's a verifiable
I was gonna
source.
say confirmed by Ray Myers right now.
Dude, it was an audible fart.
Yeah.
I was amazed.
You like looked over at him.
You're like, dude, what the? Are you okay?
What?
Did you teach him to wave? Seeing that where like someone taught their like bearded
When
dragon
he
to
was
wave and you go like this and it would just be like,
When he was young, he used to do that all the time.
yeah.
He'd wave, and then you'd wave like this, and he'd do it across the room, but
He was just using the force on you.
He's like making me do it, training this human.
Yeah.
Short crabs
Assume
don't.
it. This is give me some food.
European oysters don't. And that's pretty much it. Blue mussels. Mussels don't fart. Apparently, squirrel-based farts are the worst.
Because they're eating them fucking mice whole. Savages.
Eating out female mice. Is that what I heard?
Oh, squirrel-based farts. That's the category. I thought that was just under squirrel, but no, it's
Squirrel-based
bobcats.
farts.
Yeah.
So stuff
So-
that eats squirrels.
Yeah, bobcats. So it says hell yes under does it fart.
So if you're eating squirrels, they're pretty rancid.
I want to know who took these, like, this person that's just like hanging out with this bobcat. You're like,
Well,
you know
this
what?
was-
I'm gonna feed them all squirrels, and like, oh damn, this first got bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
This was verified by Netkick Bobcat and biologist IMO. Both.
Some of
handle
these
them.
just got to be people that have like, oh, I seen it happen once.
It was so bad.
It was so bad, you guys.
It was the worst.
They actually went through, like, I checked some other articles about, like, where they got this information, because I just seen the spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, I gotta check the spreadsheet out. But a lot of people are just people that take care of them. So, like, the Bobcat one,
You
it's
just know,
probably
yeah.
just somebody that's working at a zoo.
Bobcat
Yeah, they fart.
specialist.
I have to hang out with this Bobcat.
Worst part of my day.
Yeah, every day.
Have you guys ever like
to clean
had a
his
pet at home that farted so bad, like you literally had to like get up and leave the room for
Yeah.
that?
Pet
I had
farts
a
are
dog, yeah.
bad, dude.
Dude,
Usually dog. Just rancid farts.
so bad.
It happens. That's
It's
for
like,
sure.
what are you eating? And it's like, why the fuck do I keep feeding you that?
Have you ever heard a cat fart, though? Like, dogs
No,
are
I was
always known to
thinking
do
about
it,
that.
but, like, just cats, like...
I've been under suspicion that
Let's
my
check
cat's
the
farted,
list.
but I never heard it. They're like, what is
Under
that?
suspicion.
I don't think it was me. look over at my cat. It's like
I don't
looking at me.
remember.
Yeah.
Oh, they do fart. It says domestic cat. Yes, seems to worsen in vicinity of human face. Silent but deadly. Now that may be why. Silent but deadly.
Right in the human's face.
Domestic hedgehogs do as well. Just a lot of animals. Basically, like how I said, Ray was like, yeah, I think most of them do. This whole list, there's like those 4 no's, basically birds and mussels or
Birds is
oysters.
really the one that surprises me.
Right, moist.
surprising.
The oysters and mussels thing, I get it.
Moist oysters.
Moist oysters.
Ooh,
Moisters.
that's a band name.
Oysters.
Moist oysters.
God damn
It's
it.
just fun to say. You gotta say it, Ryan.
No.
You cocksucker.
Boot scoot boogie.
There we go. There we go. I'll take it.
Confirmed right here.
Oh no!
Psych.
You're gonna make it
That's in a
spin
corner.
right there now, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not.
So that's all I really have on the heavy topic here. I know it's super controversial if animals fart or not.
Kind of off topic, but we were talking about the squirrels and eating them. You guys ever see that video or any of the videos where like there's those squirrels that live in ground, like field-bearing squirrels?
I feel like I've seen something about that.
Yeah.
But all that, I don't just go, man, it's Friday night. Field bear and squirrels time.
I'd pull up the video. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, I seen this."
Oh yeah, jerk off to this.
Yeah, I seen
Oh,
this.
yeah, I did.
It was. I didn't search field bearing, but I was saying it's like these farmers, like they're fucking up these fields and they can't really do anything about it. So they'll just go out there with like these pitchforks, shove this pitchfork in the ground, and literally just shovel like a fucking squirrel right out. Like they just shove it in dirt and they flip a squirrel out, and then they'll be surrounded by like 15 dogs, and the dogs just fucking pounce on it and just start shaking them to death, and they just prance off camera, carrying it in their mouth, all fucking proud. It just made me think about that, and the dog's got some bad farts.
So it's
Fun
like
and
the
dinner.
worst
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
of whack-a-mole ever played.
It's so like it's interesting. The interesting part to me was just like how
Skeet shooting with squirrels.
these guys were like, like they like somehow knew where they were. They'd be like pop and like flip one out, and I'm just like, it looked like a video game. Like you just stick a shovel in the dirt and you flip out a squirrel from it. And they're just like, it's like how in the fuck are they doing that? It was fucking bizarre.
They buried all those squirrels alive before they started.
They just went around burying squirrels alive.
Mass grave of squirrels.
All right, well,
Squirrel cost.
squirrel cost.
Squirrel
That's
cost.
terrible.
Do we have any music for the squirrel cost?
Oh,
Music.
Post a
please,
Yahoo answer.
please say there's music here for the squirrel cost.
I feel
There's
like we just have to type it into YouTube and play the first thing. that's
Squirrel
played.
cost.
I did just for if you guys wanted to take a look right now. I did share the Google image search for Call of Duty Black Ops.
God damn. Might as
Just
well.
in case you wanted to see it.
Oh man.
Um,
Yep. It exists.
There is
I'd
no
play it.
matching videos for squirrel cost.
No. That was
Oh,
squirrel
I
cost.
love this one.
That's good.
so that would essentially bring us to the end here, which bring us to our
Would you rather?
Would You Rather.
I have a good one.
We got one.
You guys
Oh,
ready?
shit.
Are you ready?
Let's hope it's
Yes.
better than last time.
Oh, pot shots. Would you rather be poor but help people, or become incredibly rich by hurting people?
Oh, incredibly rich by hurting people. I feel like I don't even have to.
Done.
Whatever the side caveats are. No, that's it was poor but help people.
Yeah, poor
Or
but help
rich.
people, but become incredibly rich by hurting people.
How bad do I hurt someone? Do I just like
Emotionally,
they get a stubbed toe and like that's it?
you sell stub toe cream.
Yeah.
Toe
Yeah,
cream.
maybe that's it.
No, I would say it's got to be something that would like ruin them,
Hmm.
like just ruin them.
Yeah, I would choose that one then
Emotionally.
for sure. I'd help people. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd
Unless,
suck it up and
like,
be
what do
poor.
I have to do to help someone? Is this just like a generic?
You have to reach climax, and it's all dudes.
So I have to get all of those dudes off,
Yeah,
but I'm poor.
yeah.
How?
And this is Ryan's question. Let me let Ryan take it here. I'm just going off on tangents.
No.
So I don't have to jack dudes off.
Well, you might have to. It's required.
That
some
is
point.
required.
No, but I think the part where you'd rather be poor and help people, I don't know, be be honest, I'm gonna definitely hurt people to be rich.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to do it, yeah, I want money. I don't care if it's gonna hurt you emotionally.
Firm believer of we're well overpopulated. If there's a switch right here, you could flip it. Like, you wouldn't even have to finish the sentence to tell me what the switch does. That'd be for no money. It'd just be like, wipe out 33% of the population. That's just, by my definition, is just not useful. And before you even got to your definition part, I would have flipped it. Go, give me another switch. I hope you brought more than one.
That's fucking awesome.
But yeah, so I mean that would be easy, unless there's some particular caveats. But I think
Nothing really.
I mean,
crazy.
Rich should hurt some people. It's like a win-win for me. Let's get rid of them. Georgia Searstones. Get at me. I'm on your side.
Depends how bad I hurt
Let's
them.
do this shit.
Like I said, emotionally scarring, ruining them.
Do any of them die?
No. Just mostly.
Like, if just like
changes my
love
mind,
someone and then tear it away, like they're just like emotionally scarred for life, or
No,
like
like-
it was just like taking somebody's job away and like forcing them to be poor to make you rich.
Not really like forcing them to be poor, but like something that ruins their opportunities of their job. So basically, like getting somebody fired from their job, making their family have to like suffer through.
Maybe like an insurance company or something.
Like you stole his
You're just
idea.
denying claims all day, but everyone you deny, you get money on it.
Yeah.
Which is how that works, by the way.
I gotta have the morals. Sorry, guys.
You'd still
Like,
go with the rather be poor but help people.
Yeah, I'll just help all the people you guys fuck with, and you just give me a little bit of the cut, and we'll be all right.
But you'd be poor.
Worked for Mother Teresa.
What about you, Ray?
Who do I gotta hurt?
That's a good question.
You have
too.
to hurt those closest to you. Just that nod and nod.
Not changing my decision. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with it being poor.
Being poor.
Yeah.
But
I've
what
already
if-
got a couple of rich friends, so it's all good.
But what if the people you had to help had contagious diseases that daily helping them you risked getting this contagious disease, say, whether it be, I don't know, just some made-up disease that, like...
What does the disease do to you? matter.
Potentially fatal.
Potentially fatal. How do you die from it?
Let's just say you die in 7
Jacking
days.
up, man.
Ooh, it's like The Ring.
Yeah. You have to watch this
Is
video.
there any
It's got the
indication
ring
when you get it or
stipulation.
not?
What's that, sorry?
Is there any indication on when you get it? Like, do you know when
Yeah,
day
yeah.
one is day one?
Yeah, basically, like, you would start getting, like, scabs, and, like, you could tell somebody has this disease. So, like, when you're helping the people, you know, like, the chance is super high on this person.
So
that
you
know
you
you got it
got
from
it.
Ray.
So the
There's in this world, the only two choices are killing people, or hurting people, or helping these diseased fucks out.
Yep.
well, some more
really
questions
quickly
here.
trying to. I'm hopping over Rob's
Yeah.
fence, man. Shit, this is.
Now, hurting the people closest to me is just getting rid of, essentially ruining their job, ruining their careers. Like, they can no longer
Yeah.
do
But you're
anything.
rich.
That's it. You just
how much
you're not
money
even
do I
hurting them
get?
physically? This is getting worse and worse for me.
I mean, it
Ends up
depends.
just being mental.
You're not physically hurting them, but they could kill themselves because if you fuck with them enough, like
Okay,
he's on board again.
back on board.
So let's say I get fucking, I don't know, $100 million a year, and the people closest to me, I could probably afford to pay their salary. So if it's just jobs, I would flip on over to being rich for sure, because it would actually just help everybody.
Yeah, but
Right.
if you like fuck with somebody so bad and like they're basically poor, and then like 5 years later you're like, here's $100 million. Fuck you.
I'd be poor for
How
5
fast do
years
I get
for
the money?
$100
I've been poor for a
How
long
fast do
time.
you get the money?
right. Where's my $100 million?
Set up like on an annuity
Rubber
program
deal.
or something like that.
Probably not super immediately. Super immediately.
So I have to hurt somebody, and then I have to wait 10 years to get my
No,
money.
not 10 years, but like you get rich, but not like the incredibly rich yet. Like it's just like a slow build up. Like, oh, you got this opportunity. Boo, 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 boo.
The more people you hurt, the richer do you get.
Yes.
Nice.
If I'm only hurting people and I have the chance of dying, I think I might flip over and take the money. I'm just saying.
Take the money and
As
run.
this scenario plays out,
Yeah.
I'm jumping over to that side.
That's the
'cause
would
it
you
just-
rather.
it's
It
like-
seems like I can
That's
do
what would you
more
rather
with
happens.
that to make things better after the fact.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're helping people and you risk the contagion, you get an extra life.
Ooh, one up.
One up. Everybody loves some one up.
Now, do you get an extra life for every person you've helped?
No.
You just get one, period.
Yes.
Do you
Ooh,
respawn
one
with your respawn? Do you do you respawn with the current knowledge you hold
Yeah.
right after you die?
Is that how it works? It's a respawn? You respawn at your
Yeah,
same
it's literally
age?
just like a game respawn where you have all your knowledge,
All of a sudden
everything.
you get the scabs, and all of a sudden you just come back and you don't have the scabs, and you're like, oh.
Or you just get scabs
I'm
again.
just not gonna help these people anymore. Just die again.
You respawn with the disease. No, if you respawn and you die because of the contagion, you're free. You're good.
You're free.
But you're still living
You're
as
still
the same
poor.
person on the same planet. It's just a respawn. It's not like a new life.
I mean, you can
Just like
make
a video
it into-
game.
Yeah, it's just like a video game. Like, if you like died right now, bang, and you
Congrats, you're
respawn.
poor and you don't have to help these people now.
Right.
Did you guys see? Just a quick question that PUBG was doing a war mode where it was like a team deathmatch with respawns.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks so exciting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid.
Good.
That's fucking stupid.
It kind of takes that's the idea of that
That's
game.
Call of
Like,
Duty.
I mean, if it worked, cool, yeah, that'd be awesome. But like, don't give me some.
Nonsense.
Oh yeah,
I
for
heard
sure.
they
I think
just
they should
released
fix the game
their-
before they start working on
Right.
different games modes. But
Didn't they just release their third match or their third level for PC?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So
And we're
coming
still
out of beta.
one level.
oh, we're still not even. Yeah, like you just said, we're in beta still.
Pre-alpha bullshit.
Pre-alpha fucking
Goddamn
bullshit.
nonsense.
But yeah, that
Bull.
pretty much
So,
wraps up that. It was not the most exciting one, and caveats
I liked it.
galore.
That's the point.
I liked
That's
it.
the point for sure.
We're
Get you to
So-
like you the idea is, you think you're like, oh, I know what I'm picking,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden 3 questions in, you're like, oh god.
So with all the caveats, Rob, would you rather do the poor route with the extra life, or would you rather be incredibly rich but hurting people? It's people close to you, like. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty easy one. I mean, especially if they're not dying, you're just like hurting them. Like the hurting sounded very small and temporary, like it's emotional.
No, I mean like it's really bad emotional.
Oh, it'll be fine. I'll give them some money.
Just rub them
Fine.
in the money.
Give me some money.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. For me, anyway.
All right, Ray.
I'm gonna jump the fence and say, yeah, with all the caveats. Yeah, I'm gonna take the money. I'm gonna switch over. Dark side it.
Dark side for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Went from Mother Teresa to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
The caveats, man. We
Yeah.
just discovered something on this show, I think. We just discovered how you can go from being Mother Teresa to being Darth Vader. That's got to be a psychological.
And all it was a few bucks.
See you next time, everybody.
Woo!
Peace.
Ray got left out on the snap. Are you happy?
What's going on?
I didn't get that email.
Did I join a fucking cult?